right, Scott, get ready to enter the Stormland. All right, Scott, you and I jumped into Stormland, Reclaim Your World. This was on the Oculus that we played. It was cool, dude. I like this game.
Yeah, now this is an Oculus title that is definitely a highlight. This one just came out. It's a big release, and it's kind of the biggest game in VR that I've seen, actually. I think I can say that.
Yeah, it's one of the top leading games for sure. If you are looking for that full game experience, I honestly feel that Insomniac did a great job, and that's what they bring here with Stormland. This is one of the coolest experiences I've had in VR because you play as a robot who basically your entire race is just wiped clean. And then you get the faction of there's humans there at one point in your world, and you're kind of trying to find out where they went and why they're no longer there. But then you got this other faction of robots that come in too that you have to deal with. And it's this battle back and forth, and you're on the hunt for some of your friends and things like this, like that. And then it's just, dude, what a story. It keeps you just hooked.
It's a very big story-driven experience, but that's not to say there's no combat or action. There is lots of combat and action. But the story, it really hammers it with you at the start.
Yeah.
You wake up and you discover that your friends are all gone and they're not anywhere to be found. And maybe there's little hints left here and there. You kind of follow those hints, try to figure out what happened to the people. But all the while, you're fighting this other race of robots. I don't know why you don't get along, but they present quite a challenge. There are several types of enemies that come at you, and sometimes they just drop in from drop pots and just ruin whatever you happen to be doing at the time.
Absolutely. The coolest part is, as you're venturing out into the world, you'll get these little holographic memories that play as you kind of progress through an area. But then it kind of gives you, that's how you're fed your backstory, and you kind of learn what happened and who you become and who you are and stuff. And some of those mechanics and features that in the game just really drive home what kind of game this is with all this holographic things. Like you can flip over your hand and all of a sudden you're clicking buttons because there's your objective, your index. Or, as we did last night, we were playing co-op, which is cool.
Multiplayer, yes.
Yeah, this game is so good. I absolutely love this game.
It's hard not to get excited about something like that, especially when you're playing this huge, full package of a game, and then you just discover that there's co-op in there as well. So now, I've never seen anything like that on VR. And for how it worked, I can speak to the quality of the motions and you fighting things versus me fighting things. I was never getting any instancing or two enemies, two different things happening. It was, we were playing the same game together. And that's really how this game should be played, I think.
Yeah, and you jumped in on my story too, which is great because I was a little bit further behind on you. And then we kind of were able to work together and get me caught up to where you were and keep going forward and stuff. It's really cool, really smooth. I had a couple glitches every once in a while that I got like completely froze. We were in the middle of a cutscene and it just and everything locked on me. And if you ever have that experience in VR when everything is locked,
it's very disorienting.
It's like flip the headset off because you're about to go over. It is one of those experiences I absolutely hate when it happens because it gets that jarring disconnect.
For me, I got one of those jarring screens, but I got stuck in the level. So I could, it was so weird because you have a visor thing that you can hit on your head, and that gives you little outlines of targets and shows you kind of what's interesting and what's not. I was able to hit that, and that's my only detection. So I couldn't see anything. It was like Daredevil. I was Daredevil, and I could just tap my head to get a wave of vision.
Sonar.
But that was it. It was, a really weird kind of lock up there. I have had the game crash on me once other than that.
Yeah,
but that is the end of my issues. I believe that is all of the technical problems I have.
Everything else works. I've just been booted twice, which is a weird thing to happen, but it does happen. It is a video game. It could be my PC. You don't really quite know. Sometimes you can blame the game because you know that is the factor, but in this case, I don't know. I want to say it is the game that had effect on my PC that locked me out, but that is the only technical issue I've had. Everything else, from the voiceover and everything, the way they present the voices in the game and the characters that you meet are so different.
They
so
actually,
vast. And they're gorgeous looking, man. And they're right up in your face, and you're having a conversation with them. I'm just like, I'm looking like I'm just lost. My eyes are lost.
Well,
like I'm just
and,
lost.
And so how are they putting out that much emotion through a robot?
A static piece of metal.
Yeah, that's what they really did. They were able to sell characters and sell emotions on this. It was quite an experience.
They found us.
Scott, one of the good things I love about a game like this is always the ability to progress and customize my character to the playstyle that I see fit. And this has a huge scale tree that I didn't really expect coming into this game. I kind of thought you'd play your character grab a couple guns, and that was it. But the minute I grabbed my left arm, ripped it off, and put it on my workbench, I was hooked.
Yep.
That was so sick. It was able to go in and you can fabricate other weapons and upgrade stuff, and you're always looking for alloy when you're going out there. So when you get this material, it allows you to upgrade and progress further in the game. And then you get into this holographic thing again where you can see a whole silhouette of yourself, and you're clicking on different parts, and that's the coolest part. It kind of feels just like a movie when it comes out, there's a holographic table. Boom, there's my map. I flip this over, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. There's my map here, and you're ding, ding, ding.
All the holograms are beautiful,
So
and they all
cool.
work exactly how they're supposed to, and that's the menus that you interact with everything through. It was all very clean.
Oh, perfect.
So especially towards the end of the game, the hologram leveling up is very important. You get a lot of these different sections of your body can be added to, but you also get these credits that you can unlock more sections and more sections. And I don't want to give away any spoilers, but later on in the game, that becomes very important to custom tailor kind of how you want your character to play. There's a lot of these enemies in the game get progressively stronger and stronger, and there's a lot of big ones too. And you need that extra firepower. So to have the workbench and to be able to customize your own character really adds a lot of depth to this game. You end up getting like level 4 weapons,
which is much appreciated when you get to that other level, right?
Because you're just spraying bullets at them eventually.
Dude, the minigun
if they're
was
not.
so awesome.
Oh, the minigun's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so fun.
No, but jumping around in all these different fights, it's again jumping, double jump. You get different abilities that kind of change how you move around the map and stuff too. So I like that depth to this game. That really brings a lot of replayability.
Absolutely love this game. Scott, why don't we wrap this up? If you're going to score Stormland, what are you scoring this one on the Oculus?
There's really not a lot here for me to complain about. I had an amazing time, and open-ended with the way this game kind of trails off, I think we could see a lot more Stormland content coming down the pipeline. So I'm going to give this one a 9.5. I'm blown away by this game.
That was really high. I had a couple disconnects, and that's my only real main issue. Whether that was my fault or the PC or the system itself, who knows? But it did take me out of that experience, and that hurts, man. But there's so much content. The story is one of the best stories I played in a VR title. I'm there with a 9.
One of the most impressive VR shooters on the market. Great locations to explore, and a deep story makes this a must-play title.
If you like this video and you want to see more like it, check out the channel and give us a subscribe.